Hello，大家好，这里是以太多多。然后今天我们更新一期关于难度炸弹还有2.0进度的一个视频啊。这个视频是昨天以太坊基金会发布的，然后是以太坊的核心开发人员的一个会议。然后我们先来听一下这个会议的原版，然后我再说一下我的理解。不想听原版的可以直接快进到后面。然后这个视频呢，只说一下自己的一个观点，并不构成任何的投资建议啊。区块链投资有风险，请谨慎投资。OK，我们先看一下他的一个会议的一个视频。
Um, this is Jay Rush.
Hey, yeah,
Hey, how you doing?
good. Yeah, you wanna share your screen and walk us through your charts? That's what I've been using, and I think it's yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I think that it would be unfortunate to make a mistake there as far as getting into a situation where you have to force yourself to delay the bomb. I'm sure everybody understands that. But let me just share this one chart, and I think you can see pretty clearly from the chart how quickly the bomb goes off once it goes off. So is everybody seeing this?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
So, I mean, we're here. I was concerned last week that it wouldn't show up because the hash rate was higher, but it is starting to show up. This is as of now, as of about an hour ago. So it is starting to show up. These are the last two bombs here, and we delayed them in plenty of time for them to actually affect the block time. So here's 14-second blocks. But this one was the one where we kind of forgot to set it. And we kind of had to react really quickly here because there was two hard forks right after each other. I think they were about a month apart. So this is about a month, and it just literally drops off the cliff. So, and here you can see it just drops off the cliff. And this is exactly what the bomb does. So this red line is June 15th, which was when we thought we were setting it back here in December. And it looks to me like it's getting ready to drop off the cliff to me. I'm just looking at this. Now, I never wanted to predict the future because predicting the future of this thing is hard. But I can see that we're getting to the point where it might start dropping off the cliff. So I want to just say that out loud. And I want you to be careful. I would rather see you guys at least pick a date to say we are going to make a decision about picking a date by this date. You know, say May 15th, we're definitely going to have a decision about whether we're going to delay it or not, because you don't want to get to the place where you're forced to delay it because it went from 18-second blocks to 22-second blocks in a 2-week period. That's what I would say.
Right, and I think I think we'd probably make that call much before we hit like 18 seconds. I think yeah, that has to be pretty low, but I guess because there is kind of this chance that we might actually be able to ship the entire upgrade without moving back the bomb.
Right.
Probably waiting until we're in the like 14-ish second range, maybe 15, to see like how we're feeling about this, and
Yeah.
then that means by the time we coordinate, it takes maybe a period or two, and we end up like maybe in the like 17-ish 18-second range by the time we've pushed it back.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my I don't know, rough like gauge for it. I don't know if that feels reasonable to other like yeah.
Yeah, I think if you set a date by which you're going to set a date, you know, you say
Yeah.
we're going to make a decision by the 3rd week of May or something like that.
Yeah, and I think the risk is just I just don't want to paint us into a corner where like we're then forced to act if say the bomb is not actually showing up as like we'd expect. So I if we do say we can get like an extra 4 weeks without having to make a decision,
Yeah.
or an extra 6, like I think every week where we can delay making that call is valuable to us because it gives us more information on the readiness of the merge.
Yeah.
So I guess the best thing we can kind of say is like, today we're far enough from the bomb being an impact that we can at least bump this conversation to another 2 weeks, and then and obviously we'll keep kind of looking at it, but yeah, that would be my approach. But yeah, Lucas, I see you have your hands up as well.
Just basing on this graph, I would say that we have 4 weeks. In 4 weeks, we should decide if we should move the bomb or not. That looks reasonable for me.
Yeah. So the 3rd or 4th week of May or something.
Yeah. So like, yeah, that would be 2 calls. Yeah. Vitalik.
Yeah, I mean, I think the difficulty bomb is not a chaotic system, right? Like you can analyze it mathematically. There are scripts that have predicted it pretty accurately, and like we do know how it progresses, right? It's like every 100,000 blocks, the difference the discrepancy between the actual block time and the ideal block time doubles. And that's basically how it keeps going, right? So it's like it is something that we can model. The main unknown variable is basically like hash rate, but even hash rate, like it's not like unknown by some crazy factor of like more than 2 or whatever. So
it's predictable, but it's much easier just to say. I would argue that here it wasn't very well predicted here, but and this thing right here where it recovers, so it goes off and then the hash rate recovers. That is dependent on the hash rate. But I agree with you. It's predictable. I always just predicted the first time, when it really starts going off. I'm saying this is we're going to start seeing it go off by the time we get here.
Yeah, I mean, basically, like when it breaks 15, then it's pretty clear that it's 100,000 blocks away from breaking 17, and another 100,000 away from breaking 21, and so forth.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So it's like there's like it is a kind of multivariable problem because like we have to evaluate the pain of doing an extra delay hard fork versus the pain of like living with 21 or 25 second blocks for a while, which is something that we have done, and the world didn't end. So
right.
Yeah,
right. And I even said to Danny Ryan that you should let it get long just to let the world understand that these things can get who has the right to push the change to the code? You want to make that
right. Ultimately, like this is the last time that the block time is going to be anything other than 12 seconds. So yeah, I'm just highlighting that kind of these trade-offs exist. There's like scripts that can help us actually like measure exactly what the trade-off is. But yeah, I mean, like I definitely agree with the like no need to make a decision now sort of position.
Right.
Micah, I think you're next.
So we could, instead of trying to project forward, why don't we just pick a block time that we consider unreasonable, and then, as Vitalik mentioned, we can calculate backwards when we would need to have a, if we know that it's going to take us 3 weeks to get a release out, and we know we definitely don't want 30 seconds, then we can calculate at any given point in time what is 3 weeks before 30 seconds.
I think it's hard.
Instead of trying to calculate forward.
I think that's hard because what block time we're willing to tolerate probably increases as we get closer to the merge. So we might, like
So you're saying that's not a fixed variable,
right? Like I at least for me, maybe like others disagree, but for me it's like if we have 20-second block times today, I would consider that intolerable. If we have 30-second block times, but then we can ship the merge 2 weeks later, then like that's maybe worth it. I'm not convinced, but it's like once we can tolerate, the thing goes up as we get closer to the merge.
I see. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Lucas?
So 2 things. One thing, we can have this unpredictability, enhanced unpredictability based on hash rate leaving. So I expect the close to the merge hash rate would be going down. because people would just sell their hardware before anyone else, like before others. And the second thing, I would really like Ethereum to be considered a reliable network, and something that goes from 14 seconds to like 20, 25-second blocks or whatever. So I would really like the decision to be, we can make it as late as possible, but not before, not after we are seeing time increases, but before that. So I would prefer doing that. And third thing, moving difficulty bump is like easiest hard fork ever. So I don't think it will take a lot of effort from pushing the merge to move difficulty bump. It's a very easy thing to do. So those 3 points for me.
On the first one, yeah. How quickly does the difficulty algorithm readjust the falling hash rate, basically?
I think like basically like close to immediately, right? Because of the it can adjust by, I think it's like a factor of E in 1024 blocks, either 1024 or 2048 or something like that. So it does adjust very quickly.
Yeah, it's not like the Bitcoin adjustment times.
Right. So that means even if the hash rate goes down, it doesn't make the bomb worse, because then overall difficulty for the network goes down. Like,
well, no, it's like if the hash rate goes down by a factor of 2, then we basically lose one whole period until we get the same block time.
Right, yeah. Yeah, but that's by a factor of 2 in like a 2-week period, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if people wants to open betting pools on how much hash rate will drop before the merge, I mean, I'm definitely betting that it will drop by less than a factor of 2, probably significantly less.
This is why I never predicted the future. I only predict when it first comes.
Totally.
And I think that the world will tell us exactly what it thinks about 20-second blocks very loudly.
Last comment from me before I walk away from this conversation, because I don't care much, is the anxiety and effort we're putting into having these discussions, just that alone, is it worth just pushing back the bomb just so we can stop worrying about it? Like this isn't, we've spent a very non-trivial amount of time, and there's a lot of anxiety around it.
I would say
there may be value just in getting rid of the anxiety, and just even if we do still make it, by June, just not having that anxiety along the way may be valuable in itself.
I would vote yes.
I probably would too.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. We can postpone it to whatever, like the end of the year. It doesn't mean that the merge is postponed to the end of the year.
No. No, it does not. But the thing is, with as Marek said, it's trivial for us to make these hard forks, such an hard fork, postpone the bomb. But it's not trivial for people to the whole coordinating the update. But it might be easier if we just early on do plan for bomb update and not let it affect the merge.
OK， 视频看完了，我先说一下我的感受啊，就是感觉听了个寂寞，就是看了个寂寞，就是感觉什么都没有说。首先啊，这是他这个视频中提到的这个表啊，我们先解释一下他刚才表达的什么啊，就是不确定难度炸弹在这条线上，如果比如说下个月投票，它可能还有一个点啊，就是5月15号可能是投票，是不是有难度炸弹？如果 OK 有难度炸弹，就是大概是在这个时间。这个时间呢，它有可能把每秒由原来的现在的13秒一个块 然后增加到可能是18秒到22秒之间，它会缓缓的增加，比如说先增加到15秒到17秒，然后可能最终是最高差不多是22秒，可能到这儿。比如说它到这儿的时间慢慢这个运营到，然后慢慢的这个曲线下降。这为什么这个曲线下降？因为这个Y轴呢，就是每周挖这个区块的一个个数，这个因为这个影响你的收益嘛。然后慢慢的大概下降到这儿，然后它也不确定未来会怎样，也有可能像这样一样，然后这个又上升回去，难度又降低了，也有可能它没有确定。然后到这儿呢，它影响是什么？也就是说你的收益可能会降低40%，大概你可以算一下，我们可以算一下它这个收益怎么降低的。我们就算每天吧，它这是每周，每天呢我们每分钟60秒，对吧？每小时有这么多秒，然后每天呢就有这个数，用周吧，因为它那表是周，然后每周呢有这么多秒，然后除以现在是14秒，对吧？我们14秒、13秒、14秒吧，13秒，大概应该不到14秒，我们算13吧。现在呢，每周呢有46000个块，大概是这个样子，对吧？然后呢，我们就算46000啊。然后如果到22秒呢，我们再乘以24，每天再乘以一个7，然后除以22。然后以后呢，到每月大概是27000个块，每周27000个块，对吧？然后你除以我们刚才算是46000吧，是60%，也就是说你如果它的区块每个区块的形成时间是22秒，那么你如果挖矿，你的收益就是现在的60%，也就是说降低了40%。如果它上升到22秒，然后这个的决定时间呢是在这个月中旬，然后呢，他后边又讨论了一堆东西，比如有一个点是，其实他们不太 care， 不太关注这个难度炸弹的问题，他们关注的点是，我是不是这个算力，是不是这个难度炸弹会影响我这个 2.0 合并的问题？因为什么呢？因为这个一旦有一天他们确定了 2.0 的这个一个时间，比如说今年年底确定了，就是今年年底12月31号合并，那么作为矿工，你现在干的事是什么？一定大概率想的是卖矿机，或者肯定想的是我不挖了以太坊我怎么办？这些矿机有卖的，有挖别的的，大概率想的是我要怎么处理我这些矿机，对不对？所以他们会考虑到以太坊安全性的问题。然后难度炸弹呢，相当于给这个一个合并的一个日期给到了一个缓冲的时间，因为它收益呢慢慢的降低，所以你这些挖矿呢会有一个很缓冲的一个感觉，大概呢就这意思。但是他也没有说这个 2.0 什么时候来，就是可能说今年12月，也有可能这个明年的6月，所以也不知道什么时候，因为我个人感觉没那么快。难度炸弹呢，这个是他们说的是很容易的实现，因为这就是调一个这个东西的问题嘛，调一个参数的问题，所以对于他们来说很容易，但是就要考虑到是不是值得做。OK， 这就是他们整个会议的一个内容。所以我觉得呢，就是什么都没有说。你说难度炸弹吧，说这个东西可能决定，然后决定了呢，因为他们这个点呢，就是可能这条红线可能是难度炸弹的一个时间，他们也不确定这个会发生什么。这是第一点。第二点呢，以太坊 2.0 也没有说什么时间，所以我觉得就是听了个寂寞。就是回答一下小伙伴问的问题，就是现在适不适合加卡？其实我的观点之前也说过啊，就是无论是啥时候 2.0， 你现在如果你是新手来挖矿的话，我都不太建议。因为什么？因为如果 2.0 真的是合并了，比如说今年年底或者明年的6月份 OK 了，那么币价大概率会上涨。为什么呢？因为我觉得以太坊 2.0 大概率的带一波大牛出来，所以我觉得如果 2.0 真的确定的时间，那么 超过多少我不敢保证，反正一定会涨到那个价格，会让人很吃惊，就哇塞的那种感觉。然后比如说现在你加卡到这个明年6月合并了，我估计啊，你辛辛苦苦就是挖了1年，就相当于挖了个寂寞。比如你拿这个10万入场，你吭哧开始组矿机，然后调试完，然后开始准备就是想大干一场的时候，1年后宣布合并了，你挖的以太坊，你大概率你没有现在你直接拿10万块钱买以太坊买的多，对吧？再加上这个国内的一些政策新闻呢经常出，所以各地肯定都在打击挖矿，只要有一个省出来打击，其他省都会跟，所以你最后有可能就是本想大干一场，结果被大干一场，对不对？所以如果你是新人想准备现在挖矿，我强烈不建议。但是呢如果这个你是现在正在挖着过程中，比如说你有一个小矿场，你有一个差不多工业店，然后正在挖着当中，你问我加不加卡，我估计这样的朋友你也不会问我加不加卡，因为你算的相当明白。就是说现在你比如说你有400台机器，你问我你打算加50台机器，那么你之前那400台我估计啊，你大概率是回本了。然后你加50台呢，你基本上你按照因为你加了50台的钱，你用的是450台在跑，我估计啊，你大概率2个月就能回本。所以你现在考虑的问题呢，是另外一个维度的问题，对吧？是相当于复利的一个问题。所以那样的朋友呢，我其实就没有什么建议。我估计你算的会很明白。一些小伙伴在现在什么都不知道，然后你通过什么系统啊，你挖以太坊，你挖的是什么都不知道，所以我强烈不建议。你就感觉挖矿是赚钱的，是没错。之前挖矿你什么时候挖都 OK， 现在你挖比特币我也觉得 OK。但是呢，你要挖以太坊，我就不建议你现在入场。如果你现在什么都没有的话，现在你什么都没有，你想这个挖矿开始挖以太坊，我不太建议。你可以观察一下，看看整个市场的一个情况。你看好以太坊，你就买以太坊就好了，对不对 ？OK， 这个视频就说到这儿。如果觉得不错，记得给个3连。那如果感兴趣的小伙伴可以加入我的一个小社群，